Welcome to the Conservation Board meeting of Southampton Town for September 10th, 2025. I invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is your pleasure on the minutes of August 27th, 2025?
Move the minutes be accepted as presented or amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearings A021076, Nicholas Christopher and Penelope Christopher. The applicant requests adjournment to December 17th, 2025. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak to this application?
That'll make 10 adjournments. Are we making any progress? We haven't seen it since September of 2023.
Yeah, there is a letter that the applicant submitted indicating that they're still working on a drainage plan that they have now retained the services of a new engineering firm in order to get that plan complete.
Is it the only thing that's missing out of the
It's
plan?
one of the requirements of the board.
Okay. See what happens in December.
Is there a motion to adjourn to December 17th?
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A024077, Colin Heffron.
This is a new public hearing, and the board does have jurisdiction to open the hearing. However, it looks like the applicant is requesting an adjournment.
Requesting an adjournment to October 8th.
Motion to adjourn to October 8th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Advisory reports for Planning Board, Patricia Thompson.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This is a two-lot subdivision that's being, this is a two-lot subdivision that's being proposed for a track in Tuckahoe. There is an existing residence on the property right now. There are several recommended advisory comments. The first is that based upon Environment Division field assessments completed on August 27, 2025 and September 3rd, 2025, the track is backed by Moses Park, which takes in 10-plus acres of public open space and recreational grounds, which were acquired with community preservation funds. This green space contains both valued picnic areas and quiet walking paths, as well as exemplary natural habitat whose treasured public benefits need to be preserved and secured for future generations to come. Second, a host of other environmental services are also offered, including thermal cooling, water catchment, carbon sequestration, and air purification, together with habitat for native flora, insects, songbirds, eastern box turtle, white-tailed deer, and other wildlife. Thirdly, naturally vegetated land needs to be protected at the rear of proposed Lot 1, and that's in order to bolster and support conservation of the abutting town and village preserved land. Fourth, a conservation easement needs to be utilized as a means of establishing and preserving a buffer and a natural habitat connection with the adjacent park. In order to achieve this goal, creation of a minimum 50 feet wide unfenced conservation buffer is being recommended along the westerly rear boundary of Lot 1. 5, such buffer would be aligned with the remaining block of wooded vegetation at the rear of the southerly abutting residential lot, thereby providing for a clean aquifer recharge and a continuous wildlife movement corridor. This preservation threshold would amount to 8,650 square feet, which equals 33% of the area of Lot 1, excluding the flag strip, and would be less than the 40% of lot area protection standard required for same lots within the town aquifer protection overlay district. 6, the subdivision map needs to be revised to depict the recommended buffer, as well as to note that construction of a new dwelling on Lot 1 will be conditioned upon installation of an IAOWTS.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative wetland permits are usually in your packets, but I don't see them in there today. They're probably in the email. There weren't any. That's a good reason for them not to be there. Resolution of conditional approval, A021077 Anthony Rapello. This is postponed to September 24th, 2025.
Move to postpone to September 24th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A024049 Justin Saslow and Elizabeth Davis. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second?
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Justin Saslow and Elizabeth Davis for the proposed project about the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A025004 Salvador Ferrante and Erica Ferrante. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Salvador Ferrante and Erica Ferrante for the proposed project about the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A025021 Mark Charbonneau and Donna Charbonneau. This is postponed to September 24th, 2025.
Motion to postpone to September 24th, 2025.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A025031 Vintage MHC Holdings LLC. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolve that a conditional wetland permit approval granted to Vintage MHC Holdings LLC for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A025040 Peter Rowlandson and Donna Marie Rowlandson. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second?
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval granted to Peter Rowlandson and Donna Marie Rowlandson for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review of signature determination, A02501211, The Parkway LLC.
This application relates to an existing residentially developed property within the watershed of Big Fresh Pond. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 8, 2025. Application has been made to this board in order to gain a wetland permit to legalize the removal of a former unauthorized shed, to construct a rear deck addition, to install a swimming pool, as well as associated pool equipment, pool driveway, and pool enclosure fence. And then they're looking to partially remove an existing wood stockade fence and to restore a portion of an existing wetland, non-disturbance, non-fertilization, which is currently characterized by lawn, a few ornamental plants, and fencing. The preliminary advisory report on record speaks to the history of prior approvals for this property, upon which a wetland buffer was required. The wetland buffer is 75 feet in width, so it is compliant with the code requirements. The property abuts town preserved land and contains town-regulated freshwater wetlands. The planned new improvements would be located at conforming wetland construction setbacks. And the applicant has agreed to restore and revegetate the disturbed portions of the existing buffer consistent with my recommendations. That being said, there's sufficient information to make a determination on this application. Accordingly, the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second?
Resolve that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025034, Omar Farouk.
This application relates to a 1-acre residentially developed property in the hamlet of Flanders that contains town and state regulated tidal wetlands. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 9, 2025. The property is characterized by a one-story dwelling as well as an IAOWTS that was installed without the requisite permits. That needs to be legalized. The application has been made in order to get this board's approval to construct a one-story addition to replace and reconstruct existing perimeter elevated wood decks in the same footprints, to build some deck additions, to construct a garage under a new elevated wood deck, and to rectify a history of disturbance at this property that occurred under various ownerships, including tree cutting, clearing, and installation of various hardscape, including, among others, a shed, a fire pit, a slate patio, and wood plat, and various fence lines. I have put forward a plan for establishment of a covenanted wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer, as well as a covenanted wetland preservation area. I've also provided guidance in terms of restoration and revegetation of those areas. That being said, there is sufficient information to make a determination on this application, and accordingly the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolve that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025036, Frank Zustovich.
This application relates to a residentially developed property that is bulkheaded frontage along a interior canal in the private community of Shinnecock Shores in East Quogue. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 9, 2025. As spoken to by the advisory report, property does have a history of prior Conservation Board approvals that are conditioned upon establishment of a 23-foot wide naturally vegetated buffer along the waterfront. The property has just come under new ownership, but the prior owner had cleared much of the beach grass that had been planted in that buffer. There's a considerable amount of weeds that need to be removed, as well as stacked of firewood, followed by town-approved native planting. The application has been made in order to rework some of the accessory improvements at the property that are separated from the canal by a two-tiered retaining wall. The various improvements include a larger pool patio. A shed is being removed as part of the patio construction. The applicant is also installing an attached garage, framed outdoor shower, undertaking some utility improvements, which for the most part are located outside of this board's wetland jurisdictional limits. I did have an opportunity to meet with the new landowner at the property, and he's fully amenable to restoring the entirety of the buffer. The plan which is being put forward is consistent with the setback parameters and buffer requirements previously set by this board for this property. That being said, we have sufficient information to make a determination, and the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8E of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution issue modification, CB 24025, Robert Vaccariello and Linda Vaccariello.
This wetland permit modification application relates to residentially developed property on Sunset Avenue in the hamlet of Hampton Bays. The property has frontage on the Shinnecock Canal. The resolution that's before you speaks to the history of prior approvals and indicates that this board had issued a wetland permit in March of 2024 in order to allow for various living area additions to the waterfront dwelling, to legalize some accessory improvements and a hardscape that were completed as part of the second interior dwelling. A plan had been put forward for upgrade of the sanitary system, with the wetland permit conditioned upon establishment of a covenanted, naturally vegetated buffer running almost the full length of the southerly property line, as well as adjacent to the open canal. The applicant has decided to scale back the original plans considerably, in that home expansion is no longer being proposed. Rather, the applicant is simply seeking to elevate the waterfront dwelling so that it's FEMA compliant. The raising of the home will require that some changes be made to the stairs. All of the remaining items are just minor improvements that need to be legalized. As we look to encourage landowners to elevate their dwellings, generally the permits that are issued are non-conditional, so there is no longer a need for the applicant to establish a covenanted, to establish a naturally vegetated buffer on the property. The requisite covenants have already been recorded. The landowner is seeking this board's approval to extinguish those covenants consistent with the language of the recorded covenant. Such amendment to the existing covenant would require a majority plus one approval on part of the Conservation Board. In summation, there are no issues with this application, and I do support the extinguishment of the existing covenant. So there is a resolution before you to authorize the needed wetland permit modifications and to allow the landowner to amend or extinguish the existing covenant.
Motion to issue the modification.
Second.
Resolved that a wetlands permit modification be issued to Robert Vasariello and Linda Vasariello for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor? Opposed? ML Bridge LLC.
This wetland permit modification relates to a residentially developed property on the bay side of Dune Road, which abuts Scott Cameron Park. The resolution that's before you speaks to the prior approvals that were conditioned upon establishment of an extensive covenanted wetland preservation area and naturally vegetated buffer. Landowner was also required to landscape any disturbed portions of the property landward of the covenant, the buffer with native vegetation. As indicated by the resolution, the board had previously permitted a cantilevered second-story living area addition on the roadside of the residence. The modified permit is being sought in order to expand the footprint of the cantilevered addition because of the cantilever and significant mitigation that the applicant has agreed to on this property. The change in the project plans will result in no new adverse wetland impacts, and the site conditions have not changed. Accordingly, there's a resolution before you to approve the necessary modified wetland permit in order to allow the landowner to go forward with the planned home expansion.
Motion to issue the modification.
Second.
Resolved that a wetlands permit modification be issued to ML Bridge LLC for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there
Adjourn.
Second.
moved and seconded to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.